Hello, my name's Ronda. Good old Somerset girl, drinks far too much cider, so I try not to mumble too much during this video. Probably drinking a glass of wine doesn't possibly help, but it has given me the confidence to do this. And this is my first video, maybe more, maybe less. It's more kind of just talking to myself, so that the next time that I get down, I've got something to look back on and remind myself not to be such a cheat out about things. I think it's key with depression to remember that we all get down in life. You know, depression is, in my opinion, and this is all in my opinion, it's an inability to feel like you're coping with things. And I think, you know, life goes up and down constantly, and you have to be prepared for that. So every time you feel down, you get stronger, and that obviously makes the next time you get down a lot easier. And I think that's where my experience comes from, is that I've gone up and down and up and down and up and down, and every time I've learnt something new about myself, and it's caused me to change something in my life, which I think, you know, it may not have been straight where I needed to go, but it's certainly led me onto the path that I need to be on. And I like to think that I'm finally getting there after 10 years. So I think when you're down, try to remember that you are looking at things from a very negative angle, and that's where it's come from. Either something's happened or maybe nothing's happened, and that's then caused you to think negatively about things, and you start to pick up on other little negative things that wouldn't usually bother you. Try to reverse that. So it's not easy to just say be a positive person. I hate when people think that you can just do that, you can just wake up and be positive, because you can't. It's a process. And I think it's good to get up every day and think, I'm going to start to appreciate my life. I'm going to appreciate my life more. And instead of, you know, people expecting you, or you thinking that people expect you to just instantly be happy and off you go, it's not like that. It's just keep telling yourself that I'm going to start to appreciate things, because everything can be appreciated, you know. There's a positive in everything, and you should try and think about those positive things. Even if you don't feel positive, think about them. Try and think of a positive in every situation, and eventually you will start to feel better. That's kind of how it works. It's a psychological thing, not necessarily a chemical imbalance like everybody thinks. And you have to push yourself. You won't want to do much. I know when I feel down, I just want to kind of sleep all day, and that will lead to anxiety. You don't want to leave the house, having panic attacks in the supermarket, and no one wants to be like that. It's not a good place to be, as you know. So get up and push yourself, even little things, you know, just very small things. You begin to feel very closed-minded, so try and open up your horizons. It's difficult, but every little step will lead you to a much better place. And I know there's a lot of speculation about sort of taking medication for depression, and I for a long time didn't like the idea of it being on medication. You know, I used to take quite a lot of drugs and do quite a lot of ketamine, which is the devil's drug in my eyes now. And I've lost my point. Let me go back to my point. So, look at the notes, Ronda. The notes are there to remind me of things like this, so we don't have pauses. So, the idea is to seek medication. Because I, for a long time, when I was doing a lot of ketamine, felt that the government was against me, and I still don't really like the government, don't get me wrong, but you can't focus on things like that too much. You have to focus on what you can change. And I used to think, oh, well, maybe they're putting things in the drugs to make you be the way they want you to be, and they do dull you down, and they do make you numb a little bit, but that's a part of it. That's a part of making it easier. So go and take some meds, so you don't have to punish yourself for feeling bad. And you know, feeling guilty is a big thing, and will only make you feel worse. And I really struggle with that. Is, you know, feeling guilty when I feel down, that I'm putting everybody else under pressure and I'm disappointing myself. No, don't think that way. That's not going to do you any good. That's not positive thinking. Scrap that. Scrap it. You're going to get some medication. Let yourself just breathe for a little while and think about what's actually going on, instead of being so switched on to these negative emotions. It doesn't do you any good. So yeah, breathe, take some medication, and then deal with the issue, because there's a reason that you feel that way. There will be a reason. You'll know it or you won't, but you'll figure it out. And when you do, you have to deal with that problem. Have the confidence that you can deal with that problem. It may be a little issue, it may be a massive issue, something that's been coming and going for 10 years, deal with it. And you'll feel better when you do, and it's important to do it by yourself and not expect other people to do it for you, because you never know who's going to be around, and hopefully then people will, but it's all about you and how you deal with things. This is your life. No one else sees it from your point of view, and you won't ever see it from anyone else's, so the only person you should focus on is you. So you deal with the issue and have the confidence that you can deal with that issue, because confidence is key in life. It's very much key. If you're confident in what you're doing and what you're saying, other people will listen to your point of view. It's about positive output, and when you do that, positive things come to you. If you put negative things out there and think negative things about yourself, then you're not going to gain anything, because you're not going to see the positives in anything. It's always going to be negative. It just leads on to more negative things. But you are the best that you can be. You at your happiest is the best you can ever be, and you have to learn to see it that way. You are you at your best. You can't be anybody else, because they can't, you can't mimic them and be better than them, because they're them. So be you and be happy with yourself. If everyone looked the same and everyone acted the same, the one person that didn't would be of interest to everyone. So remember that. And it's normal to get down about life. The little things or big things. Bad is bad enough. And my worst time will be the same feeling that you had in your worst time, even though you may hear the story and think it's not on the same level at all. It's the same feeling. So don't ever feel like you shouldn't feel down because someone is having a worse time than you. It doesn't work that way. Don't focus on other people's lives. It's not your life. And I know there's another thing about going back to the medication is there's a lot of speculation in America about commercials, and they really commercialise antidepressants, and they make a lot of money out of it, and that's why another reason why I had a problem with it. But don't focus on that. Just take them for a little while until you deal with the issue. The idea is you take them so that you can breathe and deal with the issue. That's how I always look at it whenever I have a bit of a bout of anxiety or depression. Is I don't punish myself for it. I can see that it's coming. Go and take some drugs, and then get yourself clear again. Get your head clear again. And then when you feel strong enough, come off them, because don't be funding the government's habit. It's not worth it. And life does go up and down constantly. I don't think my depression's ever going to go away, or my anxiety really, because it runs in the family and is very much in the family. And me not treating myself well and allowing other people not to treat me well has certainly given me a reason to be depressed and anxious. So that's why you shouldn't beat yourself up too much. You shouldn't beat yourself up. And you need these up and down points to really appreciate your life. Life will never be constantly good, and it will never be constantly bad, and you have to have confidence in that you appreciate the good times when they're good, and when they do feel bad, you cope with them, because you know there's a better place. You know that there's a better way to feel. So I think that's really probably all I've got to say. I hope maybe this has helped you, and I hope when I listen back to myself I can remember that I'm much better at giving other people advice than I am myself. So hopefully this will help. Thanks.